Well, I really don't know what black businesses have to do with, the former president's naked um, refusal to comply with the law, basically. So I really don't know what the connection with black business and those who are suppressing it, because we're not talking about a black businessman, we're talking about a former president who's being called to be a witness in a judicial commission of inquiry. Ironically, one that was appointed by himself, even though he says that there are aspects of that, convening of the commission that he was not happy with. But he did encourage us to cooperate with the commission after all. So it's I really don't know. I was shocked to hear the manner in which Magashule was speaking about the Constitution, coming as it does from one of our leaders. He's a senior leader in the country, being General Secretary of the ANC. So it's all shocking, really, to hear this. And one awaits the official comment of the African National Congress.
Do you think this is related at all to the criminal charges that Magashule himself faces? I mean, he's talking about Zuma, but is he perhaps preparing the ground for future problems he may have?
Yeah, obviously, I mean, he's conflicted when it comes to matters of the law and matters judicial at the moment, because he is himself going to appear before court. One hopes that he is clear enough in his mind to be able to distinguish between those things that are affecting him personally and those things that are of national interest, including the requirement of the former president of the country, to appear as a witness before the commission. Of course, part of the problem is that not appearing before a commission of inquiry attracts a rather lame punishment, because I believe it's an old law. So what's the worst that can happen is that the former president may be sentenced for 6 months, if I understood it correctly. So it's nothing like 10 years, the 10 years that he served in Robben Island.
Yes, I think that is the law. 6 months, and then I believe the law was so old, 1947, the option of a £50 fine. Can you believe? Professor Maluleke, the other development, of course, is the tea tomorrow between Julius Malema and the former president, Jacob Zuma. Now, I mean, you know the history of these two better than I do. Been very difficult, very violent, full of insults at one point. What's really going on with this tea?
I personally didn't believe that the tea was a serious proposition. I had to check whether the tweets were authentic or not. And I'm now convinced that the tweets were authentic. I still don't know if the tea is an authentic proposition. But when I heard Andy Lembitama confirming it and almost justly for the attention of the former president competing, as it were, with Malema, then I believed that it is a serious proposition. So I'm very skeptical about the tea. But if it does happen, I think that it may be an attempt to consolidate, the actions of the two men going forward. After all, they have worked together before.
I suppose in a way they both have the same thing to fear, which is perhaps to an extent the rule of law, perhaps to an extent the Zondo Commission. If the reporting that the Zondo Commission is investigating Julius Malema's role in the alleged looting of VBS Bank, if we accept all of that, it would seem they both have the Zondo Commission to fear at this time. And yet, it's hard to see any long-term alliance between the two.
Yeah, look, and maybe we are reading too much into this, Stephen. Maybe Julius just wants to go and visit the old man for old time's sake. Maybe it's not such a big political plot. What we know for sure is that Zuma has decided to take the war outside of the courts, that he wants to fight it out in the political arena. That we know, because if you read his statement carefully, that's what it says. And so there is reason to wonder whether the political nature of the war that Zuma wants to enter into is perhaps connected to this meeting that they are having. I think that's the only reason that makes me wonder. But I would like to give the two men the benefit of the doubt, even though I agree with you, they do have something to fear. You'll know that Malema recently softened his stance a little bit around Zuma when he said he's too old to go to jail and so on and so forth, and that he has forgiven him. I think I read somewhere that that was the case he was suggesting. So one never knows, but it's not really about Malema. It's about Zuma defying the Constitutional Court, refusing to appear before a commission that he set up himself. That's really what it's all about. It's not about tea between him and Malema.
Reading the tea leaves for us, Professor Tinyiko Maluleke. Really appreciate the time. Thank you.